on digital radio, on the app, on your smartphone, on X, YouTube, and Facebook. The Sportscast. Expect the unexpected.
The Donut Bag presented by The Sportscast.
The Donut Bag, hosted by Joey Bag of Donuts. And here's your host, Joey Bag of Donuts.
Finally here. Finally. My goodness. After months and months and mock draft after mock draft and stupid speculation after every little stupid little thing, we're finally getting to the point where we could reach an organizational meeting where a company decides where to allocate its resources, and millions of people are going to watch.
That's right. And millions of people are going to attend and have to figure out how to get the heck out of the Fort Pitt tunnels. I almost wish you could set up a lawn chair somewhere above the Fort Pitt tunnels and
just
watch as people come into the Fort Pitt tunnel first time, figure out how the hell to get to where they need to go.
What is it? The one area where everybody on the left has to go to the right, everybody on the right has to go to the left, and you have 300 feet to make it happen.
Pretty much.
It drives me crazy, and I've done it millions of times over my entire lifetime, and it still makes me scared every single time.
Yeah.
Or when you're coming from the Fort Pitt Tunnel into town, and if you happen to choose the wrong lane, you end up in Monroeville, and you're just I'm sure that's half the population of Monroeville is just people that made a wrong turn and they couldn't figure out how to turn back. And I was like, well, I guess we're living here now.
Yeah, we're gonna stay here. It's gonna be some poor Jets fans are gonna be watching it for me, and he's out in Monroeville.
That's right.
Like, well, we're here. I don't know how to get back, and these Yinzers don't seem very sure either. So
right. Yeah. Don't ask me for directions, because I've only lived here all my life, and I get lost every time I'm downtown. So good luck is right. All. May the odds be in your favor.
If you're in Monroeville and you get on the turnpike, you gotta head to Ohio, not Pittsburgh. If you head to Pittsburgh, yeah. And I am going to be one of those goofballs that will be down there. So you're gonna go. You're gonna do it.
I'm gonna go. I don't know where I'll be. I don't know. I don't know. Where are we all gonna be? I see the giant stage in front of the stadium. I see that. So I assume everybody's gonna be there, but it's like, okay, where do we stand? Where do we sit? Where do we actually watch this thing? Is there going to be TVs? Is there going to be loudspeakers? Am I just going to watch Roger Goodell mouth words or something? I don't know.
I have a bunch of friends. I think this is what's going to happen. I have a bunch of friends going down, and they're just going to do a tailgate. And I think unless you're in that immediate first 20 rows or something like that, I think you're going to end up tailgating with other Yinzers and,
as my daughter would say, I'm just here for vibes. I'm just here for, because I don't like crowds. I'm not a people person. So this is like the worst case scenario for me, but I'm going because, okay, it's a once in a lifetime thing. It's not like I'm going to travel to Detroit or Green Bay or something to see their draft experience. So it's like, okay, let's see what it's like. Hopefully they keep it entertaining for us.
Right, and they're expecting 250,000 each day, I think is what they're saying. At least it's what they're expecting. So, it's going to be interesting. I think I would probably side with what you're saying with just, some of the health things I'm going through. I can't be there, but it would be interesting to be down there at least one of the days. Probably Thursday night's the biggest night to be there. But, I mean, it probably won't be back here for another 15 years, if it's not longer. So, you might as well go when you can.
I wonder if I need to bring a chair. I don't know. I guess I better think about that.
I don't know. I don't know. They have not done a very good job of telling you like what you can bring, what's outlawed, stuff like that. Like when we have like 4th of July, KDKA and WTA, and they all telling you, okay, you can take this kind of cooler, this size, this down to the point or whatever. They haven't said like jack squat about what you can take and what you can't take.
Right.
Down there. So yeah, they have those like little carry-on sling bag chairs now. If I were going down, that's probably what I would take.
Yeah.
Something that I could just flip out and
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. And then, like, I think the weather is supposed to be okay, but currently it's 41 freaking degrees. So I'm hoping not to freeze for 12 hours or whatever while I have to be down there. So
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll see. It's going to be. I did like that the city decided to, as we say, red up. We did all. It's like when you have people coming over to your house, like, oh my God, I got to clean up and everything. It's like, I didn't even realize this room could look like this.
Yeah, right. It's nice. Looks nice redded up like that. City looks nice.
Yeah.
Put a little Sean on Mr. Rogers and Art and
yeah. And what do you say after you clean? It's like, okay, don't mess it up. Okay,
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, don't mess it up. It's like, are we going to get to keep this stuff afterwards? I don't know.
We just read it up. And if by my math's correct, Joe, if they stay at 21, the Steelers, that pick's probably not happening between 10 and 10:30 at night.
Right.
So that's
right.
That's a lot.
And I have a feeling we might have to stay till the end. I'll get to that in a second. But anyway, let's talk about the first topic. Aaron Rodgers still has not signed. We keep hearing reports of he doesn't know. He hasn't told the Steelers. The Steelers don't know. They would expect something by now. Blah, blah, blah. This is God. I can't wait till we have a real quarterback and we don't have to deal with this crap anymore. We're gonna look back like 10 years from now. We're gonna look back at the mid 2020s and say, you remember that time we had Russell Wilson and Mitch Trubisky and Aaron, old man Aaron, President Rodgers, and you remember that stuff? Like hopefully it'll just be a bad dream. But now we got to put up with this stuff. What do you think is going on?
I just think at this point, I told you the other day we were texting back and forth. I guess I'm somewhat shocked, but I'm not. I think when they brought in Mike McCarthy, I think if he was going to sign right away, he may have done it then. So to keep this a G-rated program, he's got the Steelers by the jockstrap, and he doesn't have to sign. He's not obligated to sign. He can sign whatever he wants. I think he'd be doing due diligence if he was told him by now. And Mark Cavalli said on the X today, "Oh, you're crazy if you don't think the Steelers already know. They don't know." Maybe he's right. Maybe he's wrong. But why not just tell us what the decision is? But obviously, we don't know. And right now, I think the attitude's probably changed. I think a lot of Steelers fans may have been complacent and said, "Okay, I'm okay if Aaron comes back. I'm okay if we don't draft the quarterback in the first round." But I think right now people are like, "Okay, Will Howard's our guy," just like they were last year when they're like, "Okay, I'm ready to go with Mason Rudolph."
Let's go with Mason, yeah.
So I think they're like, Will Howard's our guy, and I'm kind of in that house right now too, Joe. To me, Will Howard's the guy. If we get a quarterback in the third or fourth round and he wants to come in and compete, great. But I'm kind of over the Aaron Rodgers thing at this point. I'm kind of going back of what I said before, but I think the guy could at least had some common courtesy to have said, "You know what, I'm coming back. Go do your thing, and let's just keep it going." But
who does it benefit for him to wait? What it's not like, what are we trying to throw off the Bengals or something? It's like, ooh, they don't know what we're gonna do a quarterback. Ha ha ha! We'll show you. You don't even know what we're gonna do. We don't even know what we're gonna do. Ha ha ha! There's only one possible explanation for why he's doing this, and I think it was the reason last year. I think it was into like end of May or June or something like that. It was like right before the mandatory June. OTAs or mandatory whatever they call them. I think the same thing is going on this year. Because remember, when he signed with the Jets, it was right around draft time. It was like a day or two before the draft. And then they had OTAs, and he didn't show up because he was in Egypt doing God knows what in a pyramid or whatever the hell he's doing. Go,
right,
go smoking old pharaohs or something. I don't know. But people gave him so much crap for that. It's like, what are you doing? Shouldn't you be dedicated to football? This is your job, man. What's wrong with you? And he got so much criticism for that. So I think he said, you know what? Fine. I'm not officially going to sign with a team until all that crap is over. And then I could go be there only when I absolutely have to, when it's mandatory, then I'll show up. Maybe that's the only possible explanation that makes any sense. Because I don't know why else would you do this?
I don't either, because I don't see, it doesn't benefit anybody. It actually, like you said, it kind of harms the whole situation, makes it even more difficult. Maybe Kabali's right. Maybe whoever the powers that be do know what's going on. But you would think at this point, if they did, and not that they owe it to us, I'm not that kind of a fan, but if they did, it would just said, hey, by the way, he's coming back. We don't have the details of a contract yet, or we do have a contract. Here it is. Or the contract hasn't been, agreed upon yet, reached on, whatever the heck it is. It's just, he's coming back, or we have not confirmed, been in talks to know if he's coming back yet. But here we are. And again, I think the only saving grace, Joe, is, again, it's not a quarterback-rich draft. So there's not like 4 or 5 guys right there where the Steelers could move up to get, or the Steelers could trade to be their franchise quarterback. I don't think that's there. I think the Steelers are going to concentrate their efforts elsewhere anyway on Thursday, and of course the preceding, or the Friday and Saturday. But still, it's just, come on, man, just tell us what's going on and figure it out and let the Steelers know. And because I put it more on Rodgers than I put it on the Steelers.
Right. Here's another theory. For someone that hates attention, and when he said, oh, when I retire, you'll never see me again, I'm going to go Kaiser Sose or whatever. For someone that hates attention, he sure likes to attract the attention. And maybe he's just doing this because, hey, what have we been talking about for the past 3 months? Hey, what's going on with Aaron Rodgers? What are the insiders talking about for the last 3 months? What's going on with Aaron Rodgers? Like, it keeps his name out there.
Yeah, I don't buy that for a minute, Joe. He's always on McAfee.
Right.
It's like he always wants to be the star of the show. And even when he's quarterback, it seems like he'll tell, no, keep these guys off the field. We're going for it on 4th down. I'm making that call.
Right.
I mean, like, give me a break. Like, you're not going to just drift off into we'll never see you for 2 or 5 years. Give me a break.
Right. This was the host of Jeopardy for a while. Come on. Like, don't give me this. Yeah.
Right.
So, like the whole thing with the wife. There's people trying to get pictures of my wife. Well, did it just here's me and my wife there. Yeah, now you're done. now
right.
The mystery's over. Like, it's
right. It was like Pat McAfee saying, well, I'm not going back to wrestling. And then what's he do?
Right.
He's center stage last night, and then he came right out again today. That was my last thing. Yeah, right. He'll probably be back tonight or something. Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think a lot of people were wishing he would stay away forever. I don't know, that whole thing did not go well.
I just feel like I do feel we're fortunate because I think there's other concerns they want to address. I think they're smart, and they realize, hey, if we're going to grab another quarterback, which they do need to grab a quarterback, they need to either bring one in through free agency with what's ever left, or they need to go and draft one in the middle rounds. But at least it's not the first round.
No, this is not. That plan unfortunately went to crap. That it's like, okay, we have the draft in Pittsburgh. We're going to announce our big quarterback. And that plan fell through. So we'll see about that. But yeah, so then it's the draft where, so it's in theory, it's the draft before the big draft of next year when we draft our big quarterback and we all live happily ever after. So in that case, we got to continue to build a team. Okay.
Right.
So what do you think they'll do in the first round?
Boy, that's a great question. There's a lot of options out there. I think they might go guard. I really do. I think they're going to go guard, or I think that they are either going to go wide receiver. And I really think they really, really like the guard out of Penn State. And that's going to be funny if they draft him, because it's going to take media and Yinzers about a half a year, if not longer, to get his name right. His last name's Yoani, so it's not too bad. Yoani.
But it's spelled like Ione or something like that, right?
It is. There's an L there, and it's Yoani. His first name is Olaivan Veg. So it's like, let's just call him Ani Yoani, and I think
I heard Venga.
Yeah, Venga is the last round. It's Olaive Venga.
We're screwed. You know who should announce the pick? Chris Fuamatu-Ma'afala. That's who should announce if that guy gets.
Could you imagine if Myron was still alive? Good God. He'd stick with the Vay or the Venga. Yeah.
Oh my
that's
God.
What he'd be.
They keep playing the clip of the guy's the last name was Fakir or something like that. And Meyer just could not. He just kept, it sounded like he kept just dropping F bombs. Like, he just could not figure it out. So,
right.
But okay. Well, I mean, obviously Penn State very well. If they did get that guy in the first round, I mean, I've heard him compared to like, it would be like the equivalent of them getting Alan Faneca. Like, they did not think that Alan Faneca would fall to them. It's like, okay, we usually don't draft a guard in the first round, but we're going to have this guy for the next 10 years because he's going to be an all-pro and he's going to be awesome. It sounds like the same thing with this guy. He's
an absolute bulldozer. There, if you YouTube him and you want to see him, the first highlight you might see, I believe it was they had won. I think it was after the Michigan State game. And this Michigan State field attendant was having a hard time pushing this equipment thing. Well, he jumps down off the rail and just starts pushing it himself.
I think I've seen that, yeah.
Yeah, and then there's this one where they're playing UCLA, and he just destroys this guy. I mean, absolutely manhandles this edge rusher who's big. And just throws him to the ground and then hits him again, and all good hits. So I mean, he's a hard guy to pass up on, and that's I guess a little bit where Aaron Rodgers plays into it, Joe, because whether you're bringing him in or you're bringing in Will Rogers, if you're bringing in Will Howard, you want to protect him. So I think that's the way they go. But then they could go wide receiver. I keep hearing for some reason, and I mean, who am I? I don't agree with it, but they like that Makai Lemon out of USC. Mm-hmm. I'm not as big of a fan of his because I don't think he's as impressive as an athlete, and he's 5'11". I'd much rather them get Denzel Boston from Washington. He's just an ideal outside receiver at 6'4", and I think that's the way they want to go. I know they loaded up on 2 receivers with getting Michael Pittman Jr., but it's time I really want to see the Steelers go offense. They did a decent job free agency-wise defense, but now, Joe, it's time to go offense.
Well, they might have to go offensive line, but maybe not guard, because we're getting news that Broderick Jones suffered some kind of setback in his neck injury, and the way they're talking, it sounds like career threatening kind of stuff. You don't mess with the neck.
No, you don't. Not in that position.
Yeah. So they might, and now as crazy as it sounds, they drafted him a few years ago. Then they drafted Fautano. Now we're going again with another tackle. What are we doing? Just drafting offensive tackles every year? But it kind of sounds like they might need to, because even if Jones is healthy, I don't know if he's done enough to earn a second contract. So
it sounds like if he has to have, I guess, the procedure that they think he may have to have, or the recovery time, just like you and I were kind of talking about some of my stuff earlier before we went on air. is he probably would miss most of camp, and it's just that was the problem, I think, with him from the beginning, Joe, is he missed so much of camp, and he's a young guy. Well, guess what? I know you may have played, you barely played a year in college. You had 1 year of college at Georgia, and guess what? You're the kind of guy, Broderick Jones, that needs a professional Steelers training camp, and you benefit from that. And when you don't get to do it or don't do it, that hurts you bad. And that, I think, the Steelers got to think about that. But then again, I will say, if there's something that keeps me less nervous, Joe, is that they have 12 picks, and they can easily get a decent offensive tackle in the middle rounds with one of those picks. So I'm not ready to say, oh no, but it's like you said, with that kind of injury, Joe, you can't have a 300-pound defensive lineman slamming into you for the rest of your 9 years.
Right. And I've heard, just And then there is another tackle. I forget which one it is. I think he's from Alabama or something like that. It's basically Broderick Jones 2.0. It's like, well, he didn't play a lot, but he has a lot of good traits and stuff. It's like, really, we're doing this again? Here's a crazy idea. Why don't you draft an offensive tackle that actually had some experience so we know what we're getting? Like Fautanu. Fautanu worked out fine.
Right. That's Kevin Proctor. You're thinking of Kevin Proctor. Yeah.
Okay,
he's and again, it's kind of like he's one of these guys he's so huge. He's got a huge wingspan. He's quick off the line. He's got everything you want it to be. But again, like you're right. I think now a guy like Ioane, what makes him attractive out of Penn State, I'm not saying it because I went there and I'm a Penn Stater, is he decided to stay his senior year. I mean, hey, he's got 4 good years in. I would much rather go for that guy. I mean, hell, half of these quarterbacks are sticking for 7 years. Why don't you find a guard or a tackle that decides they want to stay for an extra couple years? Why go for these guys who've only been there for a year and, learn from your mistakes, for God's sakes? Because I think it's safe to say, and I wish him well. And if it's career ending, I feel bad for the guy. I'm sorry for him in a way, but Broderick Jones has been to this point a disappointment.
I was going to say, at this point, I mean, if it doesn't work out, you basically have to consider that a bust, and another first-round bust, which we're all too familiar with because most of the first-round picks we've had for like the last 15 years have been busts.
Oh, yeah. Well, didn't we text back and forth sometime a couple of weeks ago where I don't think there's anybody left from the 22 draft. Right. There's nobody left. Yep. They're all gone. And I think there's only 2 Steelers in the Kevin era that have signed extended contracts. One is Watt. Yeah. And that's the only thing I can't think of who the other one is. But yeah, I mean, my God. Yeah.
Yeah. Terrible drafting. And when you have terrible drafting, you're just screwed. So yeah, could be tackle. At first, Flyers scored.
Yeah, I know. I just saw.
The thing about Denzel Boston that I thought, well, you can't get him because he's too much like DK Metcalf and Pittman. But then, who cares? Yeah. You think DK Metcalf and Pittman are going to be here forever? They're already near 30. They're only got a few years left. So you get somebody like him, and then when they're gone, this guy could take over.
Well, and like you look at what the Packers went through most of the season, they had a heck of a barrage of injuries to their wide receivers, and they had to rely on just about everybody in the tight ends and the grandmothers to fill in at wideout. So, the Steelers could be in the same bucket. So, yeah, go get the wide receiver now. You certainly can't rely on Roman Wilson. Stop waiting for Roman Wilson.
Right.
I think that ship's pretty much sailed, and, bring in this guy. That's why, again, I'm not trying – not everybody's Antonio Brown, but Lemon, I seen him. He's pretty fun to watch at USC. I got to see him play a couple of times this year. But again, at 5'10", I just rather get the 6'4" guy. Just my thing.
Yeah.
Just my thing. I saw the other day where they've been running these little videos where here are the top 5 busts from the 2011 draft or the 2003 draft. And Plex was on there. I'm like, well, Plex wasn't necessarily a bust. And I remember just watching him line up. You remember when Plex lined up? He looked like a Great Dane out there, compared to the other players on the
Physically,
field.
he was tall and so athletic, and
Right.
he was just awesome. Yeah.
And they must forget that it was the David Tyree catch, with the football and the helmet thing against the Patriots, but it was Plex that caught the winning touchdown in that game to put the Giants over the
I think
Patriots.
it was like a fade or something like that. Yeah.
In the back of the end zone, and Plex caught the winning touchdown. So, give me that 6'4" height in the NFL, Joe.
Yeah. I agree. We'll see.
But,
sorry, go ahead.
Linebacker could be there, but I don't think they're going to go linebacker. I think they're going to go wide receiver
I've heard
line.
maybe linebacker, maybe safety, maybe cornerback. Like, okay, but I thought you already addressed that. So
right. And then I still think they could be. You might be standing in that crowd Friday, and they may announce a trade, and with all those draft picks that they've accumulated and compiled, the Steelers may move up. They have the capital to do it.
What do they have? 12 picks. They're not going to make 12 picks. You can't. That's just a waste.
Right.
Like when I do these mock drafts, and like when it comes to like by the time it's like the 4th, 5th round, like I've already addressed all my needs. What else do I need to draft here? So, and I think whoever they like, whoever they really want, whether it's a wide receiver, a tackle, whatever, I don't think they're going to wait, and I don't think they can wait. Okay. And then there's the factor of this thing is in Pittsburgh. The plan was we're going to announce our quarterback and, and everybody's going to live happily ever after. Well, that didn't happen, but imagine like around pick 10, 11, 12 or something, especially I think the Ravens draft 14 or something like that. If we jump ahead of them, because I mean, the Ravens and the Steelers almost draft the same people anyway, but imagine we announce a trade because the Steelers, the Rams have made a trade with the Pittsburgh Steelers. The crowd will go crazy.
Yeah, and one of the Ravens' biggest needs is wide receivers. So it might be very interesting if the Steelers really do have something for like Denzel Boston, Amari Cooper Jr. from Indiana. One of those guys like that. If they want to jump up to get him, they might make the move to do it. And but I think that's, and you do have Mike McCarthy at the helm now, Joe. So I mean, he may say, "Oh no, we're going gas pedal. We're going offense. We're, maybe they jump up and try to get a running back. I don't know. I think Jeremiah Love and is probably the only guy really worth drafting, and I think he might go top 5 or
you never know,
top 10.
He could fall.
He could fall. Yeah, you're right. But the Steelers definitely have something to give.
But here's my theory. I think not only could they trade up, I think they could trade up again to get back into the end of the first round.
Oh yeah,
I think they could trade like their second round pick and move up and have 2 first round picks. So if I'm standing there and think, oh, they've made their pick, I could go home now. No, I gotta wait till the freaking end for another couple hours to see if they're going to move up into the first round.
Yeah, no, that's a distinct possibility. They may have pick 21 and pick 26 or something like that. Yeah. And that can make it very interesting because now what, the Bengals have no picks in the first round, the Giants have 2. Right. I think is what it is, right? So
and the Giants have 2 like in the top 10. I think they have like 5 and 10 or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Right. So what the wheeling and dealing is going to be a lot of fun too. And I think Steelers fans are really kind of hoping for that.
Did you see the when they had a little press conference with Omar Khan and Mike McCarthy, and Omar was saying, yeah, this year they changed it from teams, instead of teams having 10 minutes per pick, they only have 8 minutes now. 8. And he was saying, it's like, yeah, that's really hard. That 2 minutes makes a lot. And Ryan McCarthy like, hey, I got 40 seconds to make a play call. I think you could do whatever you need to do in 8 minutes, buddy. It was pretty funny.
Right. Well, but it was funny. You and I were talking about fantasy football drafts, and like I guess sometimes, we try to keep a timer. We try to keep a timer on hand on our thing, but you are sitting there like, yeah. And but I think that I think they probably have a pretty good idea of what they want to do. But sitting at 21, you kind of have to sit there and think, okay, watch what happens in front of us. What's going to open up? Who could fall to us? Or like you said, is there a guy that they're like, we really, really want this guy? What is it going to take to move up to get him?
Yeah.
So that's the two, kind of concepts you have right there. Sit and wait. We're okay at 21. Well, I think there's three. Let's trade up to get our guy. Or like you said, let's see if we can trade to get into one of the later rounds, like pick 25 or 28 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be fascinating. And like the thing about Omar Khan, which I have no idea how he does this, but like his draft history has shown, he basically just sits, for the most part, he basically just sits there and just waits for the draft to come to him. And that would drive me crazy. Like the year they got, what was it, a couple years ago, they got Zach Frazier in the second round. Like that would drive me insane because they desperately needed a center too. And it's like, are you sure he's going to fall to you, man? It's like, I know. I would not have that patience.
I know. And that's the thing. Like, is he going to swashbuckle a little bit this year and decide to move up? And of course, then I think they only had 6 picks that year. Now you have twice the amount of picks. Right. So it's like, well, and the thing is too, obviously the Giants and the Bengals were talking about this for a few days. Are they talking right now to somebody? Have they not talked to somebody? Is that something you do? Crap, the Flyers just scored again. Is that something that you do draft night? I've always said I'd love to be a fly on the wall during draft night, just to be in the room, see what's being said, see how they do it, see what they do. What are the phone calls like? What are the conversations like? I would love to see that.
Sometimes they do that. Sometimes they have like cameras in the war rooms and stuff, and you hear what's going on, which is fascinating. I mean,
yeah.
I know you take fantasy football pretty seriously. I take it. This is our little rinky-dink fantasy football teams that we're messing with. These people, these are billion-dollar corporations. Your entire your livelihood and your team depends on what you pick and what trades you make and stuff. So I can't imagine the pressure that's going on there.
Right, $1 million contracts and everything else. So I don't know, and I do have a feeling that I think I trust Mike McCarthy to make a good pick if they do decide to go talent, like wide receiver, something like that, running back, whatever. I just feel like he has a better judge of character with that. So we'll have to see if he goes upon that. Or, they may have pressed on those doctors too, Joe. Hey, how serious is Broderick Jones? What's it looking like? And that may, again, force them to use a pick they may have wanted to trade later.
Right. We'll see. It's going to be fascinating, but what's that saying? It's like, don't listen to what people say or whatever. See this, their actions speak louder. So yeah, we'll know. If they draft a tackle, that means Broderick Jones, you're not long for this world, buddy. You're not long for the football world. So
yeah.
But if they draft a wide receiver first, then maybe he'll be okay.
I thought it was interesting because I was waiting for the Florida dropout, but like they showed a bunch of Ty Simpson highlights of him throwing on pro day back in Tuscaloosa. And for whatever reason, the Steelers offensive coordinator was right in film with it the whole time. You could clearly see the yellow Steelers hat. And yeah, I think a lot of Steelers like that. But then if you zoom out, well, there's 25 other guys, but like
the entire rest of the league is also there.
Is there, but this guy happened to be right there, right behind him. And I don't think they'd go for him at 21, Joe. I think that guy will be there. But I just don't think so. Not when they could like get a Drew Aller or somebody like that in the third or fourth round, I think, and try to do something with him.
What do you think of Drew Aller? Do you think he's someone that should be drafted?
For me, he's almost somewhat like a Will Howard. We got to see him play a lot more. Had a broken ankle this year, so you didn't get to see him play much this year. But that was the thing where James Franklin never developed him well, and he never got a lot of wide receiver talent at all. It would have been nice. I mean, he had decent numbers for not having much to throw to, and it would be interesting to take a guy like Drew Allen, plug him on a team with Michael Pittman Jr., and some big wide receivers with pro talent, and all of a sudden you might have something. And if he's sitting there in the third or fourth round and you have all the picks the Steelers do and they haven't traded him, well, what the hell? If they're like, well, we got, what do they have right now, Joe? 3 picks in the third round?
3 in the third, yeah.
And if one's sitting there, it's 67 or 71, and Drew Allen's sitting there,
take a chance.
Why not? Yeah.
He is 6'5", 228 pounds. And as they say, you can't teach that. No. He has the size. He has all the physical tools. It's like, well, he doesn't play well in big games or whatever. It's like, okay, so he can learn, but you can't teach 6'5".
Right. And it's interesting how these things always go. That part kind of fascinates me too. Like, not only did he have a very good combine, he also had a very good pro day at Penn State, which also, the Steelers attended. And I did find it interesting the Steelers brought him back for an interview, which they did not do with the Alabama quarterback. So Aller was in last week at some point. And, that was interesting to me. And the fact that he had 2 good days where, if you remember, Will Howard had a disastrous combine, but when they put him in Columbus last year and he had his own wide receivers, he looked like the next, Troy Aikman. He looked phenomenal. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting.
I think they should draft a quarterback every year. Hey, you never know. And you know what? If you have too many good, young, promising quarterbacks, guess what? Trade one, because every team is almost desperate for a quarterback, and you get something back for him. So,
yeah, you don't have to do the first round thing where, look at the Falcons. For God, the Falcons have like 9 quarterbacks.
Right.
I don't know what they're going to do with them all, but
none of them are good.
They may even draft this guy from Alabama.
Why not? Hey, why not?
Hey, why not? I say, hey, why not to third and fourth round picks? I don't say that to a first round pick, but my God, the Falcons. So yeah, but that's that. Drew Aller could be kind of interesting if he's floating around there in the third or fourth. And if you have the pick him. I by no means think they should draft him like in the top 2 rounds.
No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. He's kind of this year's Will Howard, and yeah, okay.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. 3rd round, 4th round, maybe 5th round, something like that. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Take a chance. So
right. The funny thing is I have to keep reminding myself, Joe, that we're under a kind of a new regime. I know Omar Khan, and actually Omar Khan might be really running the show for the first time. Because, it was always under the suspicion, well, is Omar Khan running the show? Is Mike Tomlin running the show? Are we really seeing the first year of Omar Khan going, hey, all right, it's actually mine.
This is my show now, yeah.
And then you throw in Mike McCarthy at the mix, and it really is a brand new approach to the draft, which this organization badly needed.
Yeah, I just look at last year, the Pirates got rid of their coach and they got better. The Penguins got rid of their coach that was, Mike Sullivan was there forever. And he won championships and stuff, and they got a new coach and instantly they got better. I think they're just going to get better because they have a different coach with a different philosophy instead of the same thing for almost 20 freaking years.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Nothing against Mike Tomlin, but he had to go a long time ago because you just get stale.
Well, and we just got done 10 minutes ago talking about how not good the drafts have been lately. So this is like a whole new refreshing start. And again, because we're so used to, like you said, 20 years of that, I have to keep saying, well, wait a minute. This could be Omar's first draft with his hands uncuffed. And then we got Mike McCarthy and his staff. So it's pretty brand new.
You knew who the Steelers were going to draft, because on, what was it, senior day, or if there was a pro day or something like that, Mike Tomlin would practically dry hump the dude he wanted. Like, we made it very obvious. I love you. I want you. We're going to draft you. It's like there was very little suspense. We knew it was going to happen. Here now, we're not sure. We're not sure what position. We're not sure what player. We have a general idea. That's it.
Well, I told you, it scared the heck out of me. Like, what was it like after he retired or left or whatever? He said, well, a lot of times when I'm drafting a guy, I'm not necessarily looking for a player with the best ability because I'm supposed to coach that out of him. Like, oh my God, is that the way you were thinking the last couple of years? Because it showed, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be different. And, you know, you hear things like, it's like, oh, Tomlin masked a lot of problems. You wait to see when he's gone. Oh, it's going to fall apart. I don't know about that.
Right.
We'll see.
Right.
We'll see.
Yeah. Yep.
But this draft is going to be huge. I've never seen any team with 12 draft picks. So it's going to be fascinating how it all works out. And I'm so excited that I just hope everything goes well in Pittsburgh. Everybody in Pittsburgh has been saying almost the same thing for like the last few months now. How the hell is this going to work? Because, you know, you hear that number 700,000 and you think, oh my God, how are we going to get 700,000 people? And like you said, it's like 200,000 a day. That's like the St. Patrick's Day parade. That's like when the Penguins win the cup and they have a parade, or you know, Picklesburg or something like that. It's like, it's not that bad.
No, we can barely handle Picklesburg, or we can handle. Yeah, I don't know. I know my wife, her company's, I think she's sending some people down there, and but I think you're right. I think your tickets, like they say, day one and then you're done, and then day two or day three or whatever it is. When we used to have season tickets for the Penguins, if you remember, the Penguins hosted the draft back in like,
I remember that,
2013 or 2011, somewhere in there. And our tickets would say which day they were good for, you know, and you could only go that day. You couldn't go another day, even if you were a season ticket holder. Wow. So yeah, I think you'll see the whatever it is, and Pittsburgh can handle 250,000 on Thursday night.
Yeah.
And hopefully it goes well, and you know, Pittsburgh looks good, and Yinzers behave. Offer up, you know, some pierogies.
Listen, if someone takes your parking chair, they don't know, okay? They think it's just a chair that just happened to be on the street. They didn't know that it was reserving a parking spot. So don't get too mad about it, all right?
Right. Yeah. That parking chair definitely means something. Don't touch it.
Don't touch this parking chair.
No.
I just remember a few months ago with the snowstorms, and people were like, I shoveled this spot. I put a chair there. Therefore, it is my spot. I did the work. And there was lots of fights about that. Like, it is a public street. What are you talking about? It's like, okay, but you put in the work. You shovel 2 feet of snow. You deserve something.
Where I've been down there, even for a Pirates game, where like somebody will put the fold-out lawn chairs in a spot, and that means that there waiting for their friend to get there to tailgate with them.
Right.
And if you try to pull your car in there, you're going to have a bunch of angry Yinzer tailgaters saying, no, whoa. And, you know,
that's a best case scenario. Your car is getting keyed, your tires getting slashed, or they might try to fight you. But it is so frustrating when you're driving around looking for a space, like, there's a space. No, there's not, because there's a chair there. Like, really, a chair? But yeah, you have to honor the chair. You have to honor the parking chair.
Honor the chair.
I just hope somebody uses during the draft, somebody uses the word jag off. I think that needs to be support.
That needs to be the chant, and when Roger goes up to announce the Steelers pick.
You're a jag off.
Yeah, you need to start that way down there, Joe. You're a jag off. Yes, you have to.
Perfect.
That would be fantastic. That would be fantastic.
It is a tradition unlike any other. Anytime
That's right.
Roger Goodell shows up, people are like, boo.
Yes, yes. So just throw in the jag off part and you'll be good.
You're a jag off. I'm going to practice that.
Yes.
All
That's
right,
funny.
sir. Hey,
All right,
thanks
have
so much for
fun.
coming on. It is great seeing you again. You look
Yes.
awesome.
Thank you.
And
Thanks for having me.
Oh, anytime, man.
All right. We'll see
All
you
right, I'll
soon.
see you.
Thanks, Joe.
Mhm.